Tesla is probably the most polarizing company in the world as we know it. You have your fleet of diehard Tesla fanboys who have crafted a good portion of their personalities around their car and the brand itself. And then you have the army of passionate Tesla haters who seem to have a mission in life to mock anyone who drives a Tesla. And look, given the space that I occupy on tech YouTube, I used to think that no company could beat out Apple when it came to this love-hate dynamic, but dude, I was wrong. I bought my Tesla earlier this year with a pretty healthy dose of naivete. I legit thought people would just be like, hey man, cool car, congrats. Which to be fair, I did get a fair amount from many of you, which I gotta say thank you. But dude, I totally underestimated how much pure venom that would come my way by making what I thought to be a relatively benign purchase. The amount of hate people have towards Tesla is honestly pretty shocking. So today I want to go over what I perceive to be the biggest reasons why so many people hate Tesla and my take on whether or not they're justified. Now, quick disclaimer, as someone who bought a Tesla, I do recognize that what I'm about to say is likely at least a bit biased, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. And even though I may regret this, I do invite you to share your thoughts in the comments, especially if you disagree with me. Okay, the first reason why everyone hates Tesla, and I quote, dude, everyone has a Tesla. So it seems as though a big thorn in people's side is the fact that there are indeed a lot of Teslas on the road now. For better context, Tesla still very much dominates the consumer EV space when it comes to sales, as 65% of EVs out there are Teslas. And depending on where you live, for example, if you're in California, it may feel like every other car you see on the road is either a Model 3, Model Y, Model S, or Model X. Moreover, in Australia, Tesla has overtaken Toyota to be the most popular choice for sedans, which is indicative of the company's fast rise into the mainstream. And to me, what's at the crux of why this makes people hate Tesla is that for some, there is a fundamental connection between an individual and their car being an extension of what they think makes them unique. I mean, it goes back to middle school. No one wants to be the kid seen as biting off the same style as everyone else. There's an inherent want to stand out, and a car to some is the ultimate symbol of that. So it makes sense why these folks would scoff at someone getting a Tesla because, let's face it, it's a pretty basic car, all things considered. And look, this isn't something new. Car manufacturers have spent billions of dollars in marketing to promote this sense of originality by going with their particular models, and whether or not you're cognizant of this, it's very likely that at least to some degree, even if it's unconscious, you do somewhat care about what your car says about you as an individual. But in my personal opinion, I think this is one of the dumber reasons to hate on Tesla, mainly because it dismisses why seeing a lot of Teslas on the road right now is actually a pretty good thing. With the staggering market share the company has in the EV space, it's clearly representative of Tesla doing something right when it comes to appealing to consumers. And I may eat it in the comments for saying this, but I'd say generally speaking, Teslas are attractive. They may not be the most exciting or bold when talking design, but I've always argued that because they're kind of vanilla, that's what makes them have mass appeal. Plus, Tesla is kind of like Apple. They make minor iterative design changes year to year, which can make their models look kind of stale, but you gotta understand, you can only pull that off if the original design is a home run. But a more important thing to understand about the current EV space is that there are a lot of components in play that more often than not will force consumers to think beyond the car's physical look and their objectives behind being original. We're still very much in the early stages of EV adoption, and even though the competition is building up by the day, Tesla's hammerlock on its charging infrastructure and its proven reliability puts it in kind of a class of its own for at least the here and now. So even though people may not be super thrilled about going with the Tesla from a design standpoint, they may not have many other choices to consider given their needs. This is quite different in the non-EV space, as there's a plethora of comparable cars to choose from that generally will provide the same level of use and accommodation where you can be more selective. We're just not there with electric vehicles yet. But let's get into the second reason why so many people hate Tesla, and off the bat, it's one that I understand and relate to, and that's their issue with quality. Tesla is pretty notorious for delivering cars to customers that have some glaring problems, ranging from paint defects, panel gaps, chipped glass. The list is actually pretty comprehensive. And even when I personally took delivery of my 2023 Model 3, I noticed that the rear passenger door wasn't latching correctly. And mind you, this is a car that's been in production since 2017. All to say, there's no doubt that Tesla's quality assurance team has some pretty lax standard compared to other car manufacturers, to the point where if you're gonna buy a Tesla, you have to make sure you do a thorough self-inspection before taking delivery. Now, to be fair, by and large, most of the issues reported around Tesla's quality limitations are minor things that can easily be fixed. And to Tesla's credit, at least in my experience, they're very good at fixing whatever defects you identify when taking delivery. Case in point, when I told the Tesla rep that my door is off, he didn't try and give me any BS saying that was normal. He told me to set a service appointment right away. And long story short, the door was completely fixed 3 days later at no charge. But man, I think this is a totally legit reason to hate on Tesla. It's not cool to drop anywhere between $40,000 to well over $100,000 on a new car only to immediately take it for repairs. There's no manufacturer out there that's perfect, but it seems to me that Tesla doesn't have nearly as high standard as most of the competition when it comes to quality assurance. And the fact that they really put it on us as the customers to ID these things and take action, to me that's pretty messed up. But let's get into the biggest reason why there's so much hate around Tesla, especially recently, and of course that's because of the head honcho himself, Mr. Elon Musk. Not only is he the richest person on planet Earth, he's also the CEO of multiple big name companies. He has a very distinct style of leadership and is extremely outspoken when it comes to taking stances on social political issues. So it's not hard to imagine why he's such a polarizing figure given all the seats that he occupies, but one thing is clear, many who do not agree with him on issues that he's very vocal about has spread their hate over the companies that he runs. And look, Elon has some pretty controversial standings on very hot button topics, so it's not necessarily surprising that those who disagree with him take an all or nothing approach to anything he's associated with. And I'll be the first to say that I personally don't see eye to eye on multiple things that Elon talks about, but my personal stance, at least for the here and now, is that I can disagree with him on those issues without letting my personal bias interfere with how I judge the products or services that come from the companies that he runs. I've been reviewing tech products for over 6 years now, so I've trained my brain to be as objective as humanly possible when doing so, and as annoying as I may find Elon to be, it shouldn't bear any influence how I rate or review a Tesla. So I do think it's a bit much to hate Tesla or people who drive Teslas just because you hate Elon. Again, this isn't in any way a defense to him, but just because a CEO acts a certain way doesn't mean that the product that the company makes is inherently bad or not important. No matter how you want to slice it, Tesla will go down as one of the most influential and innovative companies of our time. The technology it was able to bring to the table has changed the landscape of automobiles as we know it and continues to do so today. Now, if you don't like their cars because you find them ugly, or you don't like how they manage their quality control, or if Tesla was found guilty of running some kind of Ponzi scheme where they stole millions of dollars from unsuspecting customers, cool, all fine reasons why you can and should legitimately hate Tesla. I think it's also fine to say, hey, I choose not to support or buy a Tesla because I disagree with their CEO. Cool, that's totally fine. But I don't think it's right to say that Teslas are trash based on that personal stance. And I don't think it's cool to generalize those who have Teslas as inherently bad people. I would argue that a vast majority of folks who buy a Tesla, myself included, are taking no stance whatsoever by making the purchase. We're not Tesla or Elon fanboys. We're honestly just looking for a car that we can enjoy and depend on. Now, I recognize there's probably a lot more reasons why so many people hate on Tesla, but these are the things that I've experienced during my short time as a Tesla owner. So let me know in the comments if you're a Tesla hater and what makes you hate it so much. I'm genuinely interested to get your feedback, so let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. And the same goes for your Tesla lovers out there. Hit me up in the comments what your experience has been. I think the more dialogue that we have on this topic matter, the better. And of course, if you missed my video on the 2023 Tesla Model 3 or the best accessories for the Model 3 and the Model Y, check out these videos here. They're going to help you be as informed as possible.